Yeah, so hello friends. I'm 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏, and I'm the interviewer for the day. And today's topic is asynchronous programming. So I have a few questions that I have to ask our members. So jumping directly onto the questions itself. So I'll start with Mahin itself. So Mahin, your question is, you need to first tell us about what is asynchronous programming in JavaScript.
Okay, so basically, so asynchronous programming in JavaScript is the way to make the JavaScript like a asynchronous, because the default behavior of JavaScript is the synchronous. So we need to manage the tasking from like a API fetch, or this thing to take a time. So in short, the meaning of asynchronous is like a don't blocking the main thread and just do tasking multiply, like concurrently we need to when do the tasks. So in this case we use the asynchronous programming like a set timeout, set interval, and asynchronous. By using asynchronous JavaScript, we can handle the multiple tasks multiple tasking in a single time. So this is what asynchronous programming.
Okay. Yes. So you're correct. Basically, asynchronous means that you can run multiple tasks parallelly, which is not the default behavior of JavaScript. Yeah, nice. So Supriya, your question is that you need to explain the difference between synchronous and asynchronous code execution.
Okay. So firstly, synchronous and asynchronous both have got parallel meanings. Asynchronous, as Mahi explained, that it allows you to run the codes parallelly. For example, your code, suppose one code is taking more time to get executed, then JavaScript will not stop on that particular code to get it executed, but it will run other codes in parallel to it. I mean, that code will get loaded. Meanwhile, other codes will also get loaded. So this is known as asynchronous programming, whereas synchronous programming simply means code runs line by line until unless the one line gets executed, the code uh, will not shift to other line of code. This is the meaning of synchronous programming, and asynchronous has got more benefits over synchronous programming. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Expected answer. Okay, so Karan, you tell me about what are async and await keywords in JavaScript, and what are the uses of those keywords.
Okay, so basically async and wait, am I visible? Okay, so basically async and await is just like it is a way to write any promise. Okay, so like what we usually do while writing, sorry, for writing fetch. Sorry, I am a little bit confused. For writing fetch, so for fetching anything, what we used dot then and dot catch keywords, these keywords. But after coming of async and await functioning, we can simply just use those things. Like we can make our code more what we can say, more easy to understand. So that is the basic use of async and await, so that a person can easily understand our code. Because while using dot then and all these things for fetching anything, it make our code little bit confused. So,
Okay. Putting something onto your points, whatever you said was right. But async awaits is a way of handling writing the asynchronous code. Because when we write async or await, those keywords are mainly used when we write asynchronous code, like asynchronous functions and other codes. So yeah, these are mainly used on those cases. Nice. So Vishal, you tell me about what are the benefits of asynchronous programming? Like we have seen the synchronous programming very well, but when we come about asynchronous programming, so what benefits it has over the synchronous programming?
Yeah, basically, JavaScript is a default behavior is synchronous in nature. So each and every line will be executed one by one. And one another thing is that JavaScript never did several tasks in a one time. JavaScript did one task in a one time. So uh, for uh, for making JavaScript asynchronous in nature, we use asynchronous programming. In asynchronous programming, we have uh, two stacks like one is main stack and second is side stack. Whatever the code we have written interval, promises, fetch, these types of code called asynchronous code. These all codes go side stack and except these codes, normal code will run in a main stack. By the time main stack will end, so our side stack quiz code goes to main stack and executed one by one with the help of promises, whatever promise we make it. Yeah, so this is what I know.
Okay, you were right, but the question was that what is the benefit of using asynchronous programming? Like, what effect it has, like the responsiveness, or we can conclude or perform different tasks at one time. So those kind of benefits you need to talk about.
Yeah, basically, yeah, there are several benefits to using by using async programming, but JavaScript never did several tasks in a one time. JavaScript did one task in a one time. Even if we use asynchronous programming, although JavaScript did one task in a one time, whenever the simple task done, after that JavaScript did asynchronous task one by one. So yeah, this is what I mean.
Okay, fine. We can go with that. Okay, so Maheen, again, you need to tell me about the difference between async functions and the regular functions.
Okay, so basically different between async function and regular function. So the difference between the async function is like a handle the async programming like a when write of async. So the code will execute like a when commit to async. So it will not block at that for this function will run and after it goes to next. But it async, so it will can skip the particular function and go to next start. But while when using the normal function not behave like a asynchronous, it behave like a synchronous, and it will and the main executant block it will wait for that particular function. When it will done that particular normal function, that it will go to another task. But while using async function, we can't the main executant block don't wait for that particular async function, because it is async function, so it will not blocking the whole main thread. And the different this is what the async function is don't not blocking the main thing, while a regular function blocking the main thing. So this is my answer.
Yeah, perfect, nice. So now, Supriya, you need to tell me about what is the difference between set timeout and set interval when we talk about asynchronous functions or asynchronous programming.
Okay, so set time out and set time interval. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the two functions which are invoked within the asynchronous programming. These are run just to set a particular time to a function which we want it to get executed, but after a certain period of time. That's why we use set time out and set time interval. These both work differently because set time interval keeps on working after certain limit of time. Like if you have given 2 seconds, then after every 2 seconds it will get executed. But set time out is just like it will get executed only once, because once the time is out it will stop automatically. And yes, to stop these two, there is also a stoppage stoppage, what we say, there is a code which we write to stop that particular function, that in interval and as well as in a set time out. Yeah, so this is how they work.
Okay, nice. So mainly the difference is that set interval will execute the callback function in a particular interval, and set timeout only executes once after that interval. Nice, fine. So Karan, you tell me about what is the purpose of using try-catch block with async await. So inside async function, we usually use try-catch block. So what is the purpose of it? Why do we use it?
Okay. So the thing is, I really don't know about this till now, like it is not completed, but I can give a guess. So what try-catch does, so whenever the response is okay, like we are getting the response, so we will write that code inside the try object. but whenever the code is wrong, like we are facing, like if we are giving any code for a error, then we will write it inside a catch, so that will execute according to that. So that is my guess.
Okay, nice. Your guess was right. Basically, what we do is we write a trycatch block just to avoid any syntactical error or any error that might cause the, like, while fetching the data, we might get any error. So just to handle those error, we write trycatch block. If code goes successful, we have our value. If it goes, like, if error happens, then we can catch it
Yeah.
inside our catch block. Nice. So well and good. So Vishal, you tell me about the what is the limitation of no, we have done it. Okay, how does async await improves our asynchronous code readability? I mean, when we talk about asynchronous code, we use async await, and how it is helpful while reading the code, like how it improves the readability of our code.
You are asking me that what is improve the readability of code in async await.
Yeah, while using async await, when we use async await, how does it improve the readability of the code? Like, if we don't use it, then how, like, what is the difference between while using it and while not using it? How it improves the readability of the code?
Okay, I'll try to answer. So basically, whatever I know, so async await, we use it asynchronous programming to manage whatever request we did. So after returning that response, we put async await, so that with the help of promises. So if we didn't put async await in our code, so I think code automatically run. However, our request is not received back. Still code run, or we didn't get any uh, uh, like answer. So because of this, we put async await in our code. So yeah, this is what I.
Okay, so whatever you told was right, but the answer what I was expecting was that when we write in async function, I mean, there are different ways to execute an asynchronous programming, like while using callback functions as well, and we have other ways. But when we use async await, then it makes our code little synchronous. It's synchronous. It means like as if we are using a synchronous code, but it is a asynchronous code. So it makes our code looks like a synchronous code, which is more easier to read. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Karan,
okay.
you were asking something.
No, I'm not asking. I was just want
Okay.
to give the answer.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. It is fine. So now let's go to Supriya. So Supriya, you tell me about the syntax, simple syntax of using async await.
Okay. So async await is basically used to fetch the data, in which you write like async function is equals to await, and then you write the fetching URL.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was expecting more.
Okay, yeah. And even you can write this code inside try and catch block. Like if the code get executed, then your try part will run, otherwise catch part will run, I believe. This much only. Or JSON
Okay.
conversion, all that also.
Yeah. Karan, you have any? Yeah. Nice. You can go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, if we want to make any function a async await function, so first of all, we will write async before a function, then we will call that function, and inside that function, if we want to fetch anything, we will first of all give the URL, and whenever we are fetching any URL, we will use await function, await keyword before that fetch or before anything. And we are calling it also, then we are making it .json also, then also we use await only whenever we are want to fetch that data. So that's how we can
Yes.
use async await.
Yes. Fine. Yeah, so now Mahin, you tell me about what is the limitations of async and await when we talk about asynchronous programming.
So I'm not good with this question because I
Okay,
don't know.
nice. No problem, no problem.
Can you please
Now,
okay, ask me another
yeah,
question?
yes. I have another question for you. You need to tell me about how does JavaScript handles multiple asynchronous operations? Let's say you have a
How
function,
does
asynchronous function, and in that function you have multiple fetch requests that are going through, and you are getting those requests. So you need to tell me about how JavaScripts handle those asynchronous operations. First of all, is it possible to write multiple asynchronous operations inside one function? And if yes, then how it happens?
just guess this because I don't use till yet. So my guess is just we can write and how. So we are a one method and that is promise.all. By using this, we can handle all the async programming means functions. This is my answer.
Yes, exactly. Your answer was correct. Now I'll tell you how it does. So you have one function, async function, and inside that you are making multiple fetch requests. So obviously, as you told that you can obviously resolve or solve, or you can get the request by promise.all, or you have other methods as well like promise.first, promise.last, similar that. So you can have multiple async operations in one async function, and you can have the values as well. So, well, going to Karan again. So you need to tell me about the concept of event loop in JavaScript.
Okay. So, like when we are dealing with asynchronous function, so what is usually happening in the back, like in the back side? First of all, when we are we are calling any function, like we are the JavaScript is running. Okay. First of all, it will run, but the functions which are asynchronous, that will not run. What happened with them? They will just go to web API. Okay, web API, inside that web API, they will run according to their time. Like if there is any set timeout or set interval, anything, then it will take their time. And after taking their time, what happened that they will go to callback queues. And then after callback, like they can't go to console directly. They first of all they will go to callback queues. Then after going to callback queues, when all the functions are completed, then they will run after that. So that is how event loops are working. How the events are happening in backend. So that is what.
Yes, fine, nice. Okay, so Vishal, you tell me about the callback functions. What are the role of callback functions when we talk about asynchronous programming? Or simply how we use callback functions, or where we use callback functions while dealing with asynchronous programming?
Okay, so basically, callback function is a function which we pass inside a function as an argument, and callback function always return a promise. Yeah, so this is what I know basically.
And
Basically,
while
callback function
using
is a
while using asynchronous programming, where do we use callback functions?
uh where we use callback function. Yeah, we use callback function at the time when we implement promises in our code. So at that time we use callback function and we pass a function as an argument. So this is called callback function. Yes, this is what I know.
Okay, fine. So let me clarify that when we do async programming, or when we write asynchronous code, just like we wrote set timeout, so that is of course an implementation of asynchronous programming. So asynchronous, that set timeout or set interval, whatever we have used, inside that we pass the callback function just to be executed and a delay. So there we use as callback functions. And when we talk about the then and catch method, then there of course we use again another callback function. Inside that we get the resolved value, and we process that value. So in these cases we use callback functions a lot. So that was I was expecting. So moving to Supriya again. So Supriya, you need to tell me about how does set timeout function work in event loop? Like when we talk about set timeout, when it gets executed, so what is what is happening behind the hood, and how event loops handles the set timeout?
Okay. So basically, there are three things which run behind the function. First is the event loop. Second is the app which handles it, and third is the code execution part where the code actually get executed. So when the loop is running and there is a set time out function, then definitely that set time out function will be sent to the app for a certain period of time. Then it will be sent to the callback function, like not callback, another object. I cannot recall the name of it, and there it rests to get executed after the time comes, and meanwhile the other functions are getting executed in the loop file, and then that function which has been stored there for a certain period of time, it gets executed where it has to be rendered. So there are three things which run parallelly. First the function goes there, and then it is sent to the rest part, then it is sent to the execution part. So when it is sent to the execution part, then it gets executed. It rests for 2 seconds if the set time out is of 2 seconds, and it depends on what set time out has been kept. So it waits there for that, and then it gets executed. This is how the loop event works.
Yeah, fine. Exactly what I was expecting from you. Nice. So Maheen, you tell me about what are callback health and how it can be avoided.
Okay, so basically callback has like a nested function. It means function inside a function, and it's like a callback function, and it's a very like a not a like a readable code. And for avoiding this, we use the promises. So basically, callback has is a callback function inside the function, and this nesteding is just go out and more nested and nested. It's very difficult to handle errors, and it's very also difficult to read. So we have a so avoiding this thing, we have a promise to use it and avoid the callback health.
Okay, fine. Nice. Exactly. So Karan, now you tell me about how can you debug asynchronous code effectively? Like what are the tools or what are the methods through
Okay.
which you can debug an asynchronous code?
Okay, for debugging the asynchronous code, we got a property dot catch. Like if the code is not running, if there is any issue in our fetching link or something, we can use dot catch for dealing with those errors. We can simply write any error message that we want to provide to a user whenever the function is not running, or whenever there is any problem in the code. So that's how we can deal with any problem in our fetch or any problem in our asynchronous functions.
Nice. Now tell me about how trycatch blocks help in debugging the code, or it does
Okay,
helps or not.
okay, it helps. So whenever we are creating any async function or we are fetching any data from the APIs, so what we used to do, we use try and catch block. In try block, we will provide all the things that we want whenever user fetches the data. Then whenever the data fetched properly, the things we wanted, any function or anything, we will provide it inside the try block, and in catch block we will provide the error message or anything we want when should be run after we are having any error. So that's how try and catch block works for helping us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so nice. Vishal, you tell me about the concept of promises in asynchronous programming. When we talk about asynchronous programming, we are mostly dealing with promises and all. So what are promises, and how we use promises, where we use promises while doing asynchronous programming?
Yeah. So basically, we use promises in asynchronous programming because of promises have different three conditions like resolve, reject, and pending. So these are the state of promises. Either we our promise accept or resolve, or our promise reject, or the middle stage is pending stage. So when we declare a promise, so initial stage is basically called a pending stage. In that stage, our promise is not resolved or not rejected. So when we send any HTTP request, request goes to servers, and it will take some time to uh, get back. Uh, so at that time we declare a promise. So whenever we get the solution of that request, I mean whenever we got the request back from the server, so we set a promise. If our request we got our request, it will execute it. That means our promise is resolved. If promise is not resolved, so it will reject it, or initial stage is called a pending stage when we declare a promise. Yeah, this is what I.
Okay, fine. Now, Maheen, you tell me about what are callback queues, and how does it help while executing multiple or parallel callback functions?
Callback queues. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically when we start to make any function and async programming, so it start to like a ghost in back. It's like a that three things is a web API, and the queue and stack. So when we do the async program, there is a set interval, so it goes to first web API, and after that it goes to go to queue, and after going queue, it will when the delay time is done, so it will go to stack and it will execute. This is what how the queue is work, and without going in queue, the function and the what is this like a set interval or anything, it not goes to directly stack. First it go to queue and after it go to stack, and how the async program is working behind. So this is my answer.
Nice, fine. Just a little correction. Whatever you said was right. So callback function, what it does, it stores the callback functions only. Like the resting part is done on web API, as everybody told. But when the timer is done, then all the callback functions, what needs to be executed, gets in the callback queue, and there it's rest. And when the event loop sees that call stack is empty, then all the functions are pushed to the call stack, and then it implements. Nice, fine. So with this, I guess all the questions have been done, and it was very fine. It was very nice with you all, and we have solved a lot of questions here. And with this, I guess the interview is over, and we will meet you guys in our next interview. And along the way, if you have any questions or if you have any corrections, put it down on the comments. We check your comments daily. And with this, I guess we are done with today. We'll meet you soon and with a new topic and with a new interview. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.